Welcome back. Thank you again for spending your morning with me. This class is going to focus on the 5-second flyer and quick marketing tips. This class will actually focus on our listing manager and things that are very, very fast and easy to do out of our listing manager for those flyers, for our listings and things like that. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to borrow one of our agents today who actually has a couple of new listings on the market, so we can go ahead and take a look at the capabilities of doing those quick flyers and other quick marketing out of our listing manager in the CRM. Yeah. Lewis, thank you again for letting us borrow your listings. Today we're going to focus on this section here. So we're in R2VT Connect again, and we're going to go up to the listing manager. This is the listing manager tab right here. And you'll notice under the listing tab, it's going to have all of your different active listings, pending listings. And then if you want to show your sold listings, you'll have to click this button just because we have so many solds. It's easier just to keep them hidden just for bandwidth purposes for load time in here. Each individual listing has the ability to be managed, and we do that by going ahead and clicking the MLS number. Just as a reminder before I get going here, if you belong to more than one MLS, you will actually see the MLS numbers and additional addresses for multiple MLSs in here. So if you happen to have your listing, for example, in both the Albemarle, the North Carolina Regional, and in Rayne, you'll see it doubled in here. Again, if you have it in Richmond and in Williamsburg and Rayne, you'll see it tripled in here. So just be aware that it might look a little bit different for you as you get into the system. This is automatically going to be brought in by the MLS numbers that are assigned in your profile in the system. So this is automatically generated by the MLS feeds that are in here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this listing here on Shore Drive. And I'm going to open up the listing manager for this listing. There we go. So the listing manager is going to allow us to do a lot of different things, but what I want to show you is that quick flyer. So maybe you take this listing and it is 4 o'clock on a Friday, and there isn't going to be enough time to get, something professionally done by the marketing department. We just need something that's quick and easy for the weekend. Maybe we're having an open house. We want to have, an extra 20 flyers. We just need something that's super quick and easy. We can certainly create that and print that or create that, download it very fast. So over here on the left-hand side, we have a button that's called Flyers right here. And it's going to bring up all the different flyer templates that are available in the system. So let me just show you what those look like, and then I'll show you how quick you can go ahead and either download, print, or edit this. So we have lots of different options in here. It is going to bring in all the information that's available from the MLS. So it's going to bring in those public remarks. It's going to bring in the photos. And yes, you can swap out the photos, and yes, you can add additional photos as well. So we have kind of basic and generic flyers here. We have some that are very photo heavy. We have lots of different designs in here. Your agent information will actually come out of the profile. There is an area up here if you go ahead and click, and where you can change your signature here. And that's what's on the bottom of all of our e-cards that we send out, and also the bottom of all of our flyers that are printed as well. You do have the ability to edit it though. A couple of different designs. As we get down here, you'll start to see some of the more luxury collection type designs, if this is a home that fits that luxury collection designation. So you'll see the black version instead of the Cabernet version. And do know that if you have very specific branding and you have a specific branding color, that there is the option to go ahead and change the colors in here as well. We find the majority of people do use either the Cabernet or the gray or the black. But if you have specific branding, you can change the color in here. I'm going to go with this basic flyer right here, just so you can see what that looks like. If this flyer is ready to go, we can always preview it and go ahead and download it right now. So if I go ahead and preview that flyer, it's going to bring in those first 4 photos that are available in the MLS. And then it's going to bring in the price, the address, some public remarks that are in here. These are just the public remarks. And then it's going to bring in my information from my profile. There's my logos. It's going to have some basic information in here. We're ready to go. Essentially, this flyer is professionally made. It's nice and formatted. We can go ahead and download this PDF right now if we want to. Mine should automatically download. And we can certainly go ahead and print that out, mail it, send it wherever we need to send it. There's that nice PDF, high resolution PDF for us right there. Okay. All right. If we would like to edit this, we have the ability to do that. We can go ahead and click that edit button. And it's going to allow us to make some quick edits to these flyers if we need to. So everything in RWT Connect works the same way. Your preview is over here on the right, and what you can do is over here on the left. I happen to be doing this on a desktop today, but do know that this is mobile and tablet compatible as well. It will look a little different, obviously, but you can do the flyer layouts and all of your listing managers information on your mobile and tablet without an issue. So it's going to ask us for the different content that we want to change. Maybe we have some specific branding colors and we want to go ahead and change that. You can certainly do that here as well. So maybe I'm just going to pretend, Lewis, that you have maybe a darker blue logo. And certainly we can see that's going to change on here, and it's going to be that darker blue color over here. If we want to change any of our photos, we can go ahead and open that gallery. And it's going to bring in, again, those 4 photos. This is really duplicated, so maybe we don't need this. Let's take that one out. And then if we were to go ahead and save here, it would just add all 3 of those images and eliminate the 4th if we wanted to. We can also add additional images instead. So if we had the original one that we had, maybe we want to go ahead and add the photo of, let's see here. Let's just add the photo of the kitchen. Notice that that's added the photo of the kitchen. We can add additional images to this and it will go ahead and resize them down. Obviously, we wouldn't want to add 12 photos to this particular flyer because the photos are only at the half page at the top and it would be very, very tiny. I do recommend you stay with the basic format that's available just to make sure that everything comes out okay. If I've made any changes, it's going to ask me if I'm sure I want to make those. And it's going to go ahead and bring in that information. So here's that exterior, and the porch and the living room and the kitchen. We do have the ability to update the information down here at the bottom as well. So we can update the listing content. And again, everything that we can do is on the left and the preview's on the right. It's going to look a little weird when we do this, but do know that it will format correctly when we do this. So maybe we want to go ahead and take out the capital DR that comes in from the MLS and we want to spell out drive. You know, sometimes we have acronyms in here. We want to go ahead and pull those out. Maybe you want to put some more information in here. And again, these are your flyers. So if you wanted to put some information in here that may not have been available in the public remarks, but it might be something that's interesting in the flyer, you can certainly go ahead and add that. Maybe we don't want to put the MLS number in here. We just want to go ahead and take that out. We can certainly take that out. And then there is our information on here. If you have your own branding logo as well, you can certainly add an image in here. So if we go up to that image library, we'll be able to go ahead and add an image in here. So if we had our own logo, we could add it next to that. And certainly you can change some of this information if you needed to. Maybe you wanted to add your assistant's phone number in here or an alternate phone number in here. You have the ability to do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I haven't made too many changes here, but you can see that it's already made. So we've spelled out that drive right here, and it did take out that line with the MLS number. We didn't make any changes over here, but everything is still compliant. We have our nice equal housing logo. We have all of our disclosures and disclaimers, and we're ready to go. So we can do a couple of things with this flyer right from here. We can save it. Maybe we want to just make the changes, save it, come back to it later. Maybe you want to save all these changes you made because you might use this again and maybe print it again in the future, or you want to use it again in the future. You can certainly go ahead and save it. It'll save right into your system. You can download that PDF again. So we've made those changes. We can download that PDF, print out 20 copies that we might need for the weekend, whatever that happens to be. But here's the additional piece that we haven't talked about yet. You can also send this as an e-card right from the system. So you've made a couple of really quick changes in here, and we want to go ahead and send. If I hit send, there we go. It's going to go ahead and bring me over to an email template that's available in here. We've already done the class on sending emails and e-cards out of RWT Connect. If you happen to miss that class, you can certainly go back into the training YouTube and take a look at that class. So we won't go in how to make these very specifically, but I will show you how you can make some edits in here and be able to send those. So it's going to bring in the flyer that you just made and some basic information. I did not save this one, so it's going to be a little upset at the moment. But you can go ahead and change your subject line. So you can say something like new listing.
Hey, Kristen,
Yes.
you do have a question in the chat.
Sure, go ahead.
It says, if we don't have time to have marketing print these, do we print these on a color printer at the office? Is there any fee?
I am not 100% sure about what that is going to look like. I would either, I can get the answer for you, Haley, or we can check with one of the managers.
Sounds good. So Sue, if you want to send that question to the training email, training@bhstown.com, we can give you that answer.
Thanks. I haven't seen what that policy is going to look like. Thank you, Haley. Okay, so we can change the subject line over here. We can change our title. So obviously flyer for two, this is not, you know, anything that's important here, but we can go ahead and take this out. We can change this. So we can put Virginia Beach. We can put some nice call to action here if we want to, whatever we want to do. We have some subtitle text down here at the bottom. This says call me if you need anything right here. We can go ahead and change that if we want to as well. And then of course we have our message text. And again, this is upset because I didn't save it. So it didn't save our changes that we went in. If I want to go ahead and send this out, I can go ahead and send it. So I can search in my contacts. So if I know that I want to send this to a very specific person, I can certainly go ahead and type their name. I happen to be in this system, so I can do that. Or if you want to send it to a group that you have in your contact list. So maybe this is something in your prospect farm that you have and you want to send it to the group My Neighborhood. So it'll go ahead and send it to everybody who's labeled in your neighborhood, in your CRM, in your groups. And you can also send it to individuals. And again, if you want to send it to your entire CRM, you are able to do that too. The trick to that is to type the word all. And if we go all the way down to the bottom, it's going to bring up that all contacts, and it's going to say it's going to want to send out to all contacts. In this case, I am definitely not going to do that because we are working in a live account here. I'm just going to go ahead and send it to myself. You do have the ability to send a copy of this email. So if you want to see what that email looks like, you can do that. You can send it now, or you can schedule it for a future delivery. So if you want to go ahead and maybe do up an open house flyer, for example, and you want to go ahead and send it out. Maybe you just want to send it out as a reminder in the morning before your open house. You can certainly schedule this. Maybe we'll go ahead and schedule this for Saturday morning. And then it'll go out the morning before your open house. So it's telling us that it's scheduling the email to the selected recipients. And then it'll go ahead and close our window for us. There we go. So again, if we just go back to that listings, and I'm going to go ahead and pick a different property here. And go to flyers. And we see we have flyers up here. If we want to go ahead and preview that. And we want to go ahead and download this PDF, we can certainly do that. And there's your 5-second flyer. So it takes me longer to talk about it than it does to actually just go ahead and download that flyer. But I do want you to see that it's really easy and really quick to be able to download something that looks really professional and laid out. And you don't have to make any edits to it if you don't want to. And again, if you know that this is the flyer you want to use, you know you're not going to make any edits, you don't even have to go through the edit process. You could also just go ahead and send it to someone if you don't want to use a flyer. If you want to use an e-card instead, you can hit send. And it's going to go ahead and bring us to that email window. It's a little bit slow when I'm screen sharing, so just give it just a second. There we go. And we can certainly make any of those edits in here and bring those in. So new listing. And you can change any of that information that you'd like and hit send. And bring up that contacts and groups again if you want to send to My Neighborhood. Send yourself a copy. You can go ahead and send that email now. I'm going to go ahead and schedule that for later so I can go ahead and delete it since this is a live account for the time being. And I can go ahead and schedule that delivery. Did anybody have any questions about doing flyers out of our listing manager or doing quick e-cards out of the listing manager? Karen.
Kristen, I can see how this would be useful to promote, for instance, one of my own listings, but can you walk through using the e-cards, creating a flyer if it's for someone else's listing?
So we are actually going to cover that in the next topic, which is creating e-cards out of marketing resource, which will also bring up how you can create flyers and e-cards using company listings.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Are there any additional questions? So Carlos, can we post to Facebook through this program? You can't post the flyer directly to Facebook, but you can post the listing detail page. And the listing detail page has the first shot of the home in the link that would show up on Facebook. And if you hold on a second and come to the next class where we're going to talk about e-cards and we're going to talk about marketing resource, that's actually the better place to build a kind of a just listed, just sold, just reduced piece for social media. Trying to break down all these topics into small bite-sized pieces. Sometimes these classes are usually an hour long. We're just trying to break them all down into little bits and pieces today. All right, were there any additional questions about this? You're very welcome, Carl. Thank you. All right. Again, if you have any questions about any of the topics that we've discussed, you are always welcome to email websupport@rwtown.com. That goes straight to the team that deals with digital marketing, digital advertising, and any of our digital products, and we're happy to answer questions that you have. Thank you so much.